Through Darkness, the 12 Steps to My Recovery from Corporate Communications Addiction by Christian Briggs. My name is Christian Briggs, and I'm a recovering corporate communications addict.
Hi, Christian.
This is hard for me to admit, but I'm going to do my best to share my story with you. It all began in the 80s. A lot of my friends had parents who were corporate communications addicts, and even my soccer coach sort of ran his team in a non-standard format. One day I actually snuck into my coach's office and stole his playbook, the Jack Welch Winning. I read it. I couldn't quite get enough. It wasn't enough to satisfy the need in me for power in corporate communications. I started feeding that need with the hard stuff. I break into libraries and steal stuff like Goebbels and Taylor, and it just wasn't enough. Sometimes I'd go to school so coked up on Taylor that I wouldn't even notice that I was blasting my audiobooks of Henry Ford's Thinking so loud that the classes couldn't even participate. When I'd watch TV, I thought Jonathan Higgins was an idiot. He couldn't get Magnum PI to do what he wanted to do, and Michael Knight was letting his car talk back to him, and I was pretty sure that the A-team, though their plans always came together, they always could have been better. When I got my first job, I was actually just blasting out corporate communications, controlling image, and bludgeoning customers with my image, and I get so coked up on it that I'd work late into the night doing this stuff. Now, it might have looked like I had it all together, but really there's something out of control in my life, and I was getting way too into this corporate communications thing. I still remember in 2006 that one of my employees started, and it rippled through the corporation. A bunch of employees were starting to actually talk to our customers. And they were emailing and doing all this stuff, and they were listening to each other and enjoying their company, and it was terrible. Profits started going up, and I still remember the day that I knew I had hit rock bottom. I collapsed in my cubicle after an all-night targeting and customer segmentation session. And they found me there that morning, and finally I decided to get help. I'd like to tell you that I'm actually clean and sober, and I have been for 3 years now. But I want to share with you how this happened, and maybe some steps for those of you who struggle with a similar addiction can get better. But I want to say that on the good days, life sort of makes sense, and I talk to customers, and I listen to them, and we have good conversations, and profits go up. But on the bad days, I'm dying to open Microsoft Outlook and just blast out email messages to all of our customers about why they need to buy our products and how good they are. And I want to create Gantt charts that plan out our strategy for 6 years, and it's bad. But again, I'm clean and sober, and this is how I kicked the habit. So first, I admitted that I was actually powerless over my image, my customers, and my employees. Second thing I did, which is an extremely important step, was I came to believe that Kevin McKees could restore me to sanity. And then I made a decision to turn my communications over to Kevin as I understood Kevin. Fourth, I made a searching and fearless communications inventory of myself. Then I admitted to Doc Searles, to myself, and to other people the nature of my wrongs. And I was entirely ready for Doc to remove all those command and control tendencies that have been built up since the 80s. Seventh, I humbly asked Larry Lessig to remove my shortcomings, and he did. And eighth, I made a list of all those people, the customers and employees I had harmed, and became willing to make amends to them all. Ninth, I made direct amends to these people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or other people. And 10th, I continue to take a personal inventory when I'm wrong, and I continue to admit that, mainly through Twitter. 11th, I sought through blogs and Twitter to improve my conscious contact with Larry. As I understand Larry, seeking only his wisdom for what he wants me to do. And finally, I try to carry this message to other addicts, which is why I stand here before you today, hoping that you'll follow in my footsteps. Thank you very much.